Welcome to a new session, and today we will work on another problem from LeetCode. It's about valid parentheses. The question says, given a string S containing just the characters, this parenthesis begins, ends, this curly bracket, brace, begin, end, this square bracket, begins and ends, determine if the input string is valid. So given an input like this or like this or like this, we have to determine if it is a valid input or not. By valid input, we mean an input string is valid if open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. For example, it is not a valid parenthesis because the open brackets is not closed by the same brackets, by the same type. Open brackets must be closed in the correct order. For example, here the order is correct, or here the order is correct. Like you cannot have some, for example, that begins with this and begin with this, and then this cannot be at this position. So the order should be correct as well. So see, if you check the inputs, for example, already you know that there are three opening brackets. For example, one of these, one of these, and one of these. And you see the first opening here, the first closing here, again against this opening, this closing, against this opening, this closing. Or in this example, we have this opening parenthesis, and then we have this opening brackets, and then the first closing bracket equals the last open bracket. So studying these examples, we can use a stack to keep track of all the opening brackets, and then in the stack, you know that the last character we add to the stack, we remove that first from the stack. Checking this example, for example, if you add this opening and then the first closing equals to the last added character to the stack. Or for example, you add this opening character to the stack and then this opening, and then you come to the closing. So you see that the first closing equals the last opening bracket, and we have already added them in the stack. So we get this and we compare that with this one, and if they equals one another, that means they are correct. If not, that means they are incorrect. So that means using stack data structure, we can easily keep track of opening and closing in order. So let's create the stack on stack, an empty stack. So now let's go through these characters in this string, and if any of them, for let character of string S, so say if this character equals this opening parenthesis, or this character equals this square brackets, or it equals to this opening curly brace. If it is equal to any of these opening bracket, then we add them to the stack. stack dot push this character. But if it is not any of these opening character, then that must be a closing character. And you know that the opening and closing are in order. So the last opening character in the stack should be equal to the first closing character. For example, here, at first we check this when we say let C of S. At first we are here, so it equals this one. So we push this to the stack, and then the second time we come here. So this opening bracket, this equals to this one. Again we push this to the stack, and then we come here at this one. So it is, we see that it is not any of these opening brackets. So that means the first closing one equals the last opening one. Based on the structure, stack structure, you see, for example, if you are here, at first you have this one, and the second time when you come to this one, you see it is not any of these openings. So that means that's a closing. And based on the structure of stack, it is the last one. It is the last character added to the stack. And we check this one with this one. That means they are the correct valid parentheses of the same type, opening and closing. So I was talking about this example, following this one, tracing this one. So now we are here. It is not any of these opening. So that means we should remove the last added character to the stack and check if that is opening to this one or not, if that is of the same type with this or not. If that is, that means that is correct. But if not, return false and say that it is not the correct order. So say else so if stack.pop, when we say stack.pop, that means we get this one. So we say if it is not equal to this one, that's something is wrong, it is not the correct order. If it is not equal to, now the point is that if I say not equal to, that means like any of these closing characters, this one or this one, they are not equal to this one, yes? And also I cannot use the equality sign also, because it is an opening, but this is a closing, and they are not the same character. At least they are the same type of this bracket, the opening and closing. So how can I do that? So I map all these closing and opening brackets here in a separate object. For example, here const map equals, for example, this one, that now we have this at the point C, at this loop at this time, we have this closing character. It should have this opening character. If it has this opening character, that means they are the correct order. So I say that if this remove value, which is this one, if it is not equal to this one, that means that is wrong. But if it is equal to this one, that means that is right. So I get that if it is not equal to mappy C, so when we say mappy C, C is this closing character, and the value of this is this one. So I'm saying that if this removes one, which is this one, if it is not equal to this one, then that is wrong. Return false. Return false. But here it equals to that, so it goes to the next loop, and the next loop we come here. So we come here, and again it checks that there is not any of these opening ones, so it comes to else, and here we remove the last character in the stack. So the last one, it was this one, but we already removed this. Now it is the last character in the stack. We remove this one, and we check if it equals to, get its value from here. If this character that we just got here, if it has this value, this one, so we say if this removed one, which is this one, if it is not equal to this one, then that means that's wrong. Otherwise that is correct. So, and at the end the stack becomes empty, so we return true. We say return true if the stack is empty. Return if stack.length length equals 0. So here we add the same with this curly brace. Okay, so now let's run this, and I hope it works. Okay, wrong. Now let's see what is going wrong here. Okay, so length, is that L-E-N-G-H-T or G-T-H? L-E-N-G length, L-E-N-G-T-H, yes, length. I think that was a mistake. Yes, now all the test cases successfully passed. So it was very easy question. Still, if there was anything unclear or you had any question, you can ask them and I will answer your questions. Until the next session, have a nice time everyone.